Hello, it's Tuesday, January 23rd. We'd like to welcome you to the special edition of What's Up Weekly.
Yeah,
Brian
buddy.
and Pat here chatting about Children, Family, and Student Ministry at Southgate. We say it's a special.
It is
because
a
we actually
special
have
day.
a camp edition of What's Up Weekly for you.
That's right.
So we had some folks from Scioto Hills Camp up last Wednesday helping out with the Awana and youth group. They gave some promos to our students. Then we asked them some questions.
We did. We had a great time with them.
Give us kind of an inside look at camp.
That's
and they
right.
gave us some answers. But before we get to that, we do want to give you just the bare essentials.
That's right.
Right off the bat.
So elementary age kids will attend New Frontier Camp. Middle school kids will attend Alpha Camp. The dates for New Frontier and Alpha Camp are June 18th through the 22nd. And then high schoolers will attend Revolution Camp.
Yep.
And Revolution is June 25th through the 29th. And parents, just so you know, if you sign your kids up for camp, put down a $100 deposit. You by January 31st, you can save your family $50.
It's great.
The second early bird deadline is March 31st. You can save your family $25 per
Okay.
registration, and I think that would be a good deal. Also, should mention Family Camp is July 2nd through the 6th, and big shout out to Jade, Jeff, and Sam for their time with us.
Absolutely.
We had a blast. They
We
did an
did.
awesome job leading Awana for our kids last Wednesday, and we had a chance to sit down with them, and we're looking forward to connecting you to them.
We are. So we're going to go to that video right now. And in addition to camp, we also celebrated
The National Day of.
National Day of Pie
That's
with
right.
them. So enjoy that.
Sorry, I'm still a little confused on the pie thing. Is that like a
Are you Matthew?
the
Are you
yeah?
hung
Is
up
it
on
like 3?
3.14?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
Like the
man.
circular dessert.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite pie that you're hoping for by the end of this episode?
Well, I'm on a diet right now,
That's why.
but at the end of my
pie.
diet,
I'll
yeah,
eat his
I
pie.
can't get it off my mind.
That's
Give
right.
his pie to me.
But let's look big picture.
Yep.
And we want to get your guys' input on this. What is kind of the big theme of camp this coming summer?
So this year we're in Colossians. Theme comes from the first chapter. It's going to be reconciled.
Great.
Okay. I actually just spoke about this with the kiddos.
You guys did a great job, by the way.
Thanks,
So,
thanks.
well done.
Yeah, so reconciled means that we are now made to join together with God. Before we were sinners, enemies.
Yep.
Now we're the friends of God.
That's right.
It's all because of Jesus. So we're going to be breaking that wide open. A lot of things to pull out of Colossians.
Fantastic.
But yeah, that's where we're going to be.
No, so one of the things that we would love for you guys to speak to is how have you seen camp have a positive impact on a kid?
One of the really cool things that I like to see, specifically with New Front, but it happens all over camp, is just those aha moments. I mean, obviously the gospel, for them to understand the gospel for the first time or understand pieces of it. One quick story, I was talking to a camper and they were just sad because they had gotten made fun of. And I was just letting them know, like, God is with them even in the hard times. And he was just floored by that. He was like, what? God's everywhere? Like, even when I'm in the cabin, when I go over here, is God with me? And it was such a cool aha moment. And so all those aha moments are pretty neat.
Yeah, first thing that comes to my mind is during a high school week, during Revolution, actually, just being with a group of guys that were really kind of hard on the outside, had a shell, didn't want to let anybody in. You look at that at the beginning of the week and say, from a man's
long
perspective, yes, it's going to be a long week. We're not going to make any inroads. They're going to stay locked up, not let anything out. And to see God work on their hearts throughout the week, by the end, they are sharing their hearts, breaking down, freely worshiping, a complete turnaround within a week.
That's great.
And again, that has nothing to do with what we could tell them or convince them of. It was all God working in them. So it was really cool to see.
That's great.
Yeah, I think honestly, just of myself, the way that I was impacted as a kid, 16 years old. You know, I started working at camp, but the reason I started working there is because 2 years prior, the Lord really got a hold of my life, and grew up in the church, but was just kind of starting to stray inwardly. Outwardly, I was still doing everything I needed to do, but God got a hold of me at camp, and I committed my life to do His calling wherever, whenever, however, and committed my life to full-time ministry. That's the reason I'm at Scioto Hills full-time now, is because He had a ginormous impact on my life at Scioto Hills.
Oh, that's great. Cool. One of the things from a pastor's perspective that's encouraging but maddening at the same time is that Pat and I, we could beat a drum and we're teaching and we're saying the same things over and over and over to a kid, and then they go to camp and they spend a week at camp with a really cool counselor who loves Jesus, and then they come back and they say, you know what I learned for the very first time, and they'll tell us and we're like, have we not been saying that same thing for the last year? What? So it's maddening, but it's encouraging too. It just seems like God's voice is a little bit louder and a little bit clearer down at camp.
Once you're away from home.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
That's right.
No distractions.
Absolutely.
Taking that
Yep,
away.
for sure.
That's great. The next segment's going to be a little fun.
This is gonna be good.
So we call this Pessimistic Parent.
Oh boy.
So we've just got some, brainstormed some questions that some parents might have.
That's right. We're actually going to take on a persona.
We
so
are.
We're going to be pessimistic parents. So we're going to be that nervous Nelly mama who
Are there
now.
wigs involved?
No,
We'll see.
No,
No,
yeah,
there
so,
are.
You get
so-
makeup on
so
earlier.
we're going to fire some questions at you. Now these are serious questions, but well, we might make fun of
We'll do our best.
somebody. Anyway, so we're going to fire some questions at you. Rapid fire. You got to make this happen. So, nervous Nelly parents, you guys ready? Here we go.
Ready.
Okay, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Sure. My fourth grader has only spent one night away from home ever. Are they ready for camp? Is that something they could do?
Yeah, I think so. Fourth graders, honestly, usually the parents are more nervous than the child. So
Yeah. Am I allowed to text my kids throughout the week?
no.
I can send
texting.
a cell phone with them or an iPod Touch or
Yeah, the beauty of camp is that you get away from technology, but of course we understand you want to get in contact with your kids, so we do have available means for that.
Are there-
Just not texting.
are there safe spaces as they wrestle with not having Wi-Fi? Is that
No bubble wrap.
okay? All right.
Scioto Hills obviously is in the hills. There's some trees, and what if my kid gets lost in the woods by themselves at night? What would happen?
Well, campers are not ever by themselves, so our staff is around, and we're not going to let them just go out in the woods.
Okay.
Speaking of your staff, do you do background checks on these people? I mean, you just pull somebody in off the street. I mean, how do you vet your staff?
Absolutely. Yep. Background checks. We talk with references that they send in. We make sure that they have a lot of things that they go through. We're not just pulling people off the street. Make sure that we get after them. Yeah.
Okay.
My kid is a pretty picky eater. I mean, they're big fans of mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, but beyond that, they won't eat very much. So what about a whole week away from home? Will I have to send the mac and cheese with them?
One of our favorite quotes is, of course, scripturally, but other than that, one of the kids said, best camp food ever, period, no discussion. Southgate Hills.
Now, what if my kid has a medical emergency at camp? Am I going to be able to reach them? How will that work out?
We actually have multiple RNs on staff.
Nurses.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So yes, you will be
The
able to
big
reach them,
leagues,
and they will reach out to you if there's any medical needs.
So if my kid normally takes medicine each day, morning and evening, are they going to have to make sure they remember that on their own each day in their cabin or?
No, our nursing staff takes care of that at mealtime.
Okay. Are there bugs at camp?
Oh, I'm going to answer this one. There are bugs in the woods, but not in the beds.
Thankfully.
There you go.
Excellent.
Sounds good. Hey, well done.
Thank you.
No, that was
Thank you very
really
much.
good. All
That's-
right.
I think I was more
Encouraging.
nervous than the parents.
All right, Pat's going to take us
So,
into this next segment. here.
Obviously, that's a lot to keep track of, but
Yeah.
we do want to try and hone in on one specific thing. Obviously, you guys have a lot of different weeks of camp, one geared at specifically elementary kids, one at middle school, one at high school, and then family camp. But if you were to narrow down one specific thing that you need to know about that week or that week's all about, starting with New Frontier with elementary, what would you say?
I would say New Front is high energy, a lot of fun. I mean, the kids are full of high energy, so we keep it that way. We're constantly moving, constantly doing something new. Mini camp, I don't know if I can jump into there, but mini camp is a taste. It's a taste of camp. So first time experience, maybe more for the nervous moms not ready to let their kiddo go
Nervous
for the
moms,
whole-
or maybe a kid who hasn't been away from home at all,
Yeah.
or maybe like a younger elementary age kid. That might be a good way to ease into camp.
Baby
yeah.
step.
Yeah.
Cool. So what about Alpha Camp for middle schoolers?
Yeah, Alpha, I would say there's a lot of new challenges that come with Alpha. We give them a little bit more responsibility, but they also get to experience some new things too, like the zip line or the giant swing, things like that. We give them a little bit more of teaching as well. We're not watering down the gospel. We're giving it the whole thing to them because we know that it's going to challenge their brains, but it's going to be good for them in the end too.
Perfect.
What about Revolution in high school camp?
I think dynamic. Everything that we do between worship, the activities, the cabin time, meals. everything, dynamic, I think is probably the best word that we could use to describe what's happening that week.
Cool. And then how about family camp? What's one big thing about family camp?
Our slogan for family camp is vacation with a purpose.
That's it.
Get to have a lot of fun, spend a lot of time with your kids.
Yeah.
But the Lord's in it all too, and we're teaching you as well.
Yeah.
That's exciting, man.
That
That's
is
a lot
exciting.
a lot of good stuff.
For sure.
So
Well, hey, this takes us into our final segment. It's our game segment, and we're excited about this. Folks, we're going to play a game called, well, it's a familiar one to our viewers. Not so familiar to you.
Not so much.
But it's How Little Do You Know? And most of our games are related to the National Day. So the National Day of Pie.
Yep.
And we're going to play this kind of team style. So,
absolutely.
So Pat and I have been battling each other for so long. We're having a great
gonna
time
be weird.
battling
Was it
you
actually
guys.
much of a
here.
this is the all-time standings.
I've-
I'm glad you
I've
brought
seen
that
this
out.
side,
Yes.
even though you haven't.
So this means that Pat is still winning.
Okay.
But we're not going to dwell on that.
Short caveat.
Name of the game is How Little Do You Know?
Yep.
It's related to our National Day of Pie. And so what Pat and I are going to do is we're going to read for you, definitions that are relating to a word that has the 3 letters of P-I-E in it. So the correct answer will have a word related to pie in some sort of way. All right? So now, to make this a little bit more challenging, you have 30 seconds to answer these 5 questions correctly. If you answer more questions or get more words answered right than we do, you win.
You win.
The pie.
That's right.
pie.
The
Okay,
pie.
right.
That's right.
Is that
so?
ultimate prize? Pie?
We got to figure this out.
For sure.
All right. So,
So you'll have 30 seconds. I will read definition, then your time begins, and then I will tell you if your answer is correct, incorrect, move on to the next one. I'm going to read your first definition, and then the time will begin.
Okay.
A portion of a whole.
Piece of the pie.
Peace.
Piece, correct. Exact duplicates.
Can we skip? Just say something.
Is that duplicates? Is that what
Piece.
Incorrect. Copies. To be taken or to be filled up.
Pie.
Occupied. A small dough envelope filled with mashed potato and other ingredients.
time. 30 seconds is over.
Oh, wait.
We only got one right.
Correct answer would have been pierogi.
Pierogi! I love
Pierogi.
pierogi!
Yeah.
Aren't those good? Man, they're good. All right.
You guys are just making me hungry.
I know it. All right. You guys have a timer?
I
Yeah.
thought.
Ours
Yes.
harder.
Okay, here we go. All right. Now you can't hit go until it reads the first and just say
After
it.
the,
All right.
as he comes out.
After the
After.
first definition.
We can distract you however we want. Ready, set, go. To make a hole or opening in. Hard.
It is harder than it sounds.
Gotta say something. Come on. Come on.
Piecemeal.
Wrong. Pierce.
Ears.
Slang word to denote a young urban professional.
Yuppie.
Correct. A structure built on posts extending from land out over water.
Here.
Got it. Hollywood director of Indiana Jones, Schindler's List, and E.T. Really?
Spielberg.
Really?
Time. Sorry, did you guys
Whatever.
get, did
Your
you guys get
questions
those
are
ahead
way
of time?
easier than ours. I'm just saying.
Well done, Brian.
Okay, that was rigged.
Well done. Well done.
Allies
All right.
for once.
It's good. It's good to be. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. That was
Thank you
great.
for having us.
And hopefully this has been helpful to you. Pass this along to any other moms who might have some questions related to camp ministry. See you next time.
See ya.